Hi, so my last video did really good in terms of likes and views, and to date it is the best League of Legends video that I've uploaded. So I'll be redoing it, but with Kayn. And someone left a very nice comment suggesting that I should edit out the filler words or ums in my videos. So I'll keep that in mind. Let's begin. So for my first Kayn game, I played him into top lane, and I was placed against the Yone. Normally, I'm not sure how good Kayn is into top lane, but definitely for this matchup against Yone, I wasn't supposed to win, but he did make a minor mistake where he overextended and tried to tower dive me. I then capitalized on that and got the first kill, which then gave me the lead. Also, you could say that I didn't need to ignite flash, but I'm a person that likes to be better safe than sorry, so in my opinion, I think it was worth it. Could I have killed him without igniting and flashing? For sure. Let's continue. So a few minutes later, both of us had hit 6. This is where I mean that I just don't think I win the matchup against Yone. This next team fight, I died very early on, so yeah, I wasn't able to really do anything here. But this whole match, it was just chaotic. Like, everyone was just roaming the entire map. So this part, I believe, was my favorite, where I killed Briar. I ulted onto her, and then I killed Briar, then Yone, and then this Pantheon literally got jumped. Like, this, I mean, the game was a wrap from here. And we finished the game. So for my next game, I played jungle, how you normally should. I was AFK for the first 30 seconds, and I showed up to my raptors, and come to find out, the Fiddlesticks was clearing my raptors, and he definitely got punished for that. So I took one look at mid lane, and I saw that this Nico was sort of pushed up, so I decided to give it a try to gank her. She did end up flashing, but I'm not sure why we didn't chase, but we probably could have killed Nico. But after that, I decided to give Fiddlesticks a bad time by invading his Krugs. And my Silas somehow managed to kill the Fiddlesticks and the Dr. Mundo all by himself, which was phenomenal. So again, I found the Nico pushed up, or semi-pushed up, but she was low, so this time we did actually get her. I'm not sure how the Heimerdinger got the kill there, but I mean, I'll take it, I guess. In this drag fight, I believe this was the turning point for when we were starting to win the match by a landslide. And I had just got informed too, so I hadn't even hit my power spike. I didn't notice I got informed, so I did leave base, but then walked back. I managed to see the Nico by herself, and of course I capitalized on that, and we got her this time. Me and the Heimer. I'm not gonna lie, that flash was nasty. I should have died had I not flashed, I believe. Then I killed Nico again. And basically the game was a wrap after that. I killed Nico again. And yeah, we won the game. I will say though, honestly, if I can do this good with Kayn, I think anyone can. I am an Iron player, so I'm not really that good at League of Legends. And so far from my first 2 games, I think I've done pretty good, but let's continue. Alright, so on the next game, I was doing pretty good. I was farming. I wasn't really ganking anyone. And around 7 minutes, I went to go check on bot lane, and I happened to pass by Dragon, and then this Kindred started like shredding me. And I basically died quite instantly. I got rooted once, and boom, I was done. And I was in for a treat. This game was probably the worst one that I played out of all the games. What just kept happening was the Nico would rotate, and she just kept killing me. and I was so far behind that it just didn't matter. We did end up losing the game, and the score was so bad. I finished the game with 6 kills, 17 deaths, and 19 assists, and this was just a bad game altogether. I probably should have gotten red Kayn. That also could have been a factor, but I just played it so bad. All right, so for game 4, I decided to invade, and that was a bad idea because for one, I realized that I just don't win against Xin Hao in early levels, or perhaps I just played that wrong, and I almost died twice. He did manage to invade my jungle, and we got him back, so it did turn into a fair trade. 8 minutes into the game, I was about to take Scuttle, and then Set showed up in river. He chased me into my jungle, and I feel like we should have won this. The Cho'Gath, I'm assuming he just didn't notice that we were fighting in the jungle until a little bit later. We almost won this, and then Katarina showed up, and lo and behold, the Katarina just ulted me and I died instantly. So that was an L. I then also tried to invade again, and Blitzcrank was roaming, and once again I died. So at this point, like, I already have 3 deaths, 14 minutes into the game. There's not really any chance or sign that we're going to win this game. But we somehow made it to 30 minutes into the match, nearly, and I made a sort of a comeback. We did end up winning the game, so I'll take it. All right, on to the next game. So for game 5, I was placed against a Warwick top. I should have realized that this was a huge mistake, and I should have just dodged that champ select. This one, I think, was actually, not to spoil it, but I think that this one was the worst game out of all of them, or at least in terms of unfairness. Like, what am I supposed to do here? I have a Warwick that's tower diving me 3 minutes into the game. I mean, there's a reason that this guy locked in Warwick top. It must work. It must be great. Otherwise, he wouldn't have. Honestly, I think that Warwick does need a nerf, or I think it is kind of cringe when people play him top lane, because what he's capable of doing is just overtuned. He's just honestly overtuned as a champion, simply because of the fact that he can just out heal you because he has innate lifesteal. Honestly, this might have actually been my worst game I've ever played in League of Legends. 20 minutes into the match, I was already 0-9, so that was already a sign that we should have surrendered. There was no turning this around. Alright, so my next game was game 6, and I started off pretty good. I didn't die right off the bat. The first big thing that I did was invade the enemy's jungle and take the Graves Krugs, and I skedaddled. So as you guys can see in this team fight, I'm not gonna lie, Lux is kind of like annoying. It's probably one of the counters for Kayn, I'd assume. I haven't really looked up Kayn counters, but she can just throw her root. But anyways, a few moments later, I somehow managed to die to Krugs, and I don't even know why I'm showing this. This is kind of embarrassing. I guess this is me being transparent. And then getting to Yorick. At this point in the game, it was probably already a wrap, simply because it was one-sided. It was just like the last game where the Warwick was just fed, except that this game, it was the polar opposite. We were fed, and there was not a lot that the enemy team could do. So, as you can guess it, they surrendered. On to the next game. So, game 7. 3 minutes into the game, I did a 3-camp clear, well, it wasn't a 3-camp clear, but it was a very early gank, and I succeeded, giving my Tryndamere a advantage into the laning phase. For the rest of early game, I was just farming the entire early game, and I did go red Kayn this game. At the time of playing this game, I thought that going red Kayn was the best choice, but again, not to spoil it, but I think going blue Kayn should have been the move, or it would have been the move, definitely. You'll see why later. Alright, so after I cleared my Scuttle Crab, I decided to try to see if I could gank. And me and the Tryndamere put in some work, I'm not gonna lie. We killed 2 people under tower, actually 3 technically. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a really good play on the Tryndamere. I didn't really do anything, to be honest. And then 2 seconds later, the Ziggs ulted me, and it did a whole lot of nothing. Ziggs that isn't fed is honestly kind of mediocre, to be honest. So a few minutes later, after they all respawned, we got into a team fight, and I got a little bit cocky. I thought I could win this fight. I could have maybe if I played it differently, but I did end up dying. And then I died, I respawned, came back. The team fight was still sort of going on. And this Master Yi almost killed me, but my team came in clutch. And then we fought again in River. I killed Morgana and then Master Yi. I decided to flash out and I lived. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure how this Morgana almost won this fight. This was pretty close. Like really close. It shouldn't have been that close. It just comes to show that either Morgana got buffed too much or Kayn is not as broken as he used to be. Alright, so on game 8, I went into the river right off the bat. And lo and behold, there was 3 people in a bush. My Nami did come in clutch and I did get out, but she did take one for the team. So 2 minutes into the game, I showed up to top lane to help gank for the Trundle, and this Poppy managed to kill me, and the Trundle did a whole lot of nothing and she got away. So that was kind of unfortunate. So I then tried to gank for bot lane. I was trying to play very aggressive this game, and I'm not sure how, but the Sumumu knew that I was right here, and I basically got jumped. They got me. I still don't understand how I knew I was there. It wasn't even warded to begin with. So I respawned, went to go clear my Raptors. I saw Yone, he was low health, and I capitalized on that and he died. Then I went back into top lane to gank the Poppy, and Trundle just didn't need a gank apparently. So I invaded this guy's Gromp. I then saw Mumu there, and I burnt his flash. So W. I then decided to shove the wave into top turret, and I backed after a while because I realized the Poppy was on his way back, and this guy caught me lacking. I'm not sure how he landed that ignite. I feel like I should have survived. I probably could have survived if I had surfed on the wall with my E. A few minutes later, I avenged myself and I killed the Poppy, and I also collected for him. So this game, I mean, as you can see, I went red Kayn. I believe I should have took blue Kayn this game, but it didn't really matter. We were down by 20 kills, so we were just bound to lose the game. That was fun.
Defeat.
This guy said easy. So for game 9, I started on my Raptors, no leash. Apparently that's how you're supposed to clear with Kayn, or that's one of the better ways. This jungler doesn't necessarily need a leash because he has a good clear, and honestly that's pretty true. So after I did a 3-camp clear, I decided to show on bot and try to do a gank, but I failed, so I headed towards mid lane. And I also failed there because the Sniffury, he dashed, but I did end up burning a flash. A few minutes later, I returned back to mid lane, and me and my mid laner, we killed Darius and Nefuri. This game was scuffed. I'll just skip to the end so you can get an idea of what exactly happened. So pretty much my ADC and support, they just left the game. Granted, we didn't want to surrender, but had they stayed in the game and kept a good attitude, perhaps we could have turned it around. But these guys just straight up just left and said some things. But yeah. So for game 10, we won by a landslide, but to save the sake of everyone's time and my own time for editing, I'll just show game 10 to 16, just the ending, to prove that I did play 16 matches. But I'll also show that I had, in one of the matches, I did have a weird, very weird encounter. Like, it is irrelevant to the video, but it's just funny, and you will see why later. Alright, so this video did take a while to make, and I want to give my final take on Kayn before I show you guys the game that I found kind of strange. I think Kayn is a great champion. His ability to traverse the map honestly makes him like one of the best snowballing champions. Without form, the character is mediocre, and it all really comes down to how fed you are. I would say that Kayn is balanced if he isn't fed. However, if this guy is 5 levels ahead, chances are you're probably not going to win the game because he can just get from point A to point B just better than any other champion in the game. So, yeah. So, to answer the question, is he broken? I want to say no. I will say, though, that Kayn was the first champion that I have ever gotten 30 kills with. And I am an Iron player, so there's that. Perhaps he's easier to play than other characters. I'm not sure about high elo because I am not a high elo player, but yeah, that's all I have for you guys for the Kayn analysis. Alright, so let's look at this weird encounter that I did have earlier. My Jax got kind of tilted because the Aatrox was emoting on him, and then he called him that. And then they basically trash talk. I'll just show all the messages on screen, but it did kind of get weird. They did say some things I can't put on YouTube, but it's still kind of crazy that they were saying that in the league chat.